All right, so we're on to plants. Recent unit, so it should be that part. A plant is a living organism that has specialized parts to help it survive and pass on its genes. Okay, so you can see just as a plant, there's flowers, there's a bud, there's different parts, leaf, fruit, stem, primary roots, and lateral roots. Plant reproduction may be sexual or asexual. Flowering plants carry out sexual reproductions when using parts of their flower. So how does reproduction occur in a flowering plant? Remember, there's the pistil, the stamen, and bees that help. Bees, bats, butterfly, birds, sometimes humans. So there's 6 parts that we're going to talk about. First is the petal. Petal is leaf-like and it forms a circular shape around the reproductive parts. The function of this is to attract pollinators. It also helps protect the internal parts. The sepal is the modified leaf that surrounds the flower and it protects the flower buds and supports the petal. So it's closed, and then when it opens, it protects the petal after it was the bud. Stamen is the long, so the structures, move this thing here. So this is the sepal here. Petals are around. This is the stamen, structure around the pistil made of the anther and the filament. This is the male reproductive structure. Anther is located at the tip of the stamen. It produces pollen, which is the male gamete. The pistil is a long central structure made of the stigma, the style, and the ovary. This is the female reproductive structure. The ovary is at the bottom. It contains the ovules and the eggs. This is the part that develops into a fruit. Okay, pollen from here gets on a bee's butt as it's moving, and when it goes to drink nectar from another plant, this pistil will attract the pollen, and the pollen travels down and fertilizes an egg. So again, there's the parts of the flower. Fruits and vegetables are developed ovaries that grow when fertilization occurs. So once it's fertilized, it can become a fruit or a vegetable. It grows around it to protect the developing embryo. That's why the seeds are usually in the middle, and there's something around the outside protecting it. What can influence flowering plants? The length of day or night may influence it. If you have more daylight, they're able to grow more. If it's less, it can be less. Types of soil can affect it as well. Leaves are important in making food. Okay, leaves are why we get photosynthesis. They have an epidermis, which is a covering, a thick outer cuticle. So it's leaves have that waxy part that helps retain water. Stomata are the tiny pores that prevent water loss. Again, they don't want to lose too much water because then they die. That's why you have to keep watering them. So stomata are the tiny holes. Water exchanges through leaves is transpiration. So when the water does leave the plant, we call it transpiration. Guard cells control how open or closed those little cells get. It allows plants to take in carbon dioxide, which is what they need for photosynthesis to occur. If there's, harmful gases around, it's not going to open that much. If they didn't need a lot, it's going to open a lot. So we're going to go through the slide. The last part on each side has a slide about photosynthesis and a slide about cellular respiration. That's really kind of what I want you to write down in that Venn diagram. But if there's other things you want to write in the notes or areas, you can do that as well. So photosynthesis is carried out in the leaves of the plant in order to convert sunlight energy into a usable form of energy that they store in sugar. They need 3 things for photosynthesis to occur. You need light, water, and carbon dioxide, what we breathe out. Plants then make 2 things from photosynthesis. They make sugar, which we call glucose, and oxygen. Sugar is used in the cellular respiration to make the energy. So sugar is not automatically the energy. Once it goes through cellular respiration, that is when it is the energy. So this is what I want you to write down. Photosynthesis causes the following things to occur. It gives off oxygen. It takes in carbon dioxide. It produces food. It uses sunlight energy and stores it as glucose. It produces glucose and oxygen. And chlorophyll, which is that green pigment, absorbs light. Remember, we can't go outside and go, hey, I'm ready for some light, and get energy. We can't do that. But because the sun is the original source of energy, we need something that can absorb the energy from the sun, and that is plants. Without plants, we wouldn't have that energy. Also, that's why we have solar panels and stuff that, it's a different type of energy. Okay, cellular respiration is a very important process that occurs in all living cells. You have learned that photosynthesis converts light into sugar, but then how do we use that sugar? Plants use sugar to make energy to grow, reproduce, and thrive. It is made in the process of cellular respiration. We do this too. The difference is that you use sugar that comes from the food you eat. So if you're eating a fruit or a vegetable, you're getting natural sugar that was already in those. If you're eating processed foods, you're getting less healthy sugars because they're processed and they've also, been changed. That's why you get more energy from eating fruits, vegetables, things that have grown from the ground. Cellular respiration, this is what I want you to write down. It gives off carbon dioxide. Okay, that's why we breathe out. All of our cells in all our body are going through cellular respiration. They're using the energy that you consumed, whatever you had for breakfast, lunch, dinner, etc. They're taking that energy and then it's going through cellular respiration and then it's coming out and then you have to breathe off the carbon dioxide that it's produced. It's taking in the oxygen. It's breaking down our food. It releases energy from the sugar because remember, it's just sugar. Once it goes through this process, it gives us the energy for me to move like this and talk like this. It produces carbon dioxide and water. Okay, but you're like, oh wait, no, it produces water. That's why you have to go to the bathroom. Okay, and it occurs in all living cells. Okay, so those are main things we need to know. Again, knowing the difference between cellular respiration, photosynthesis, and the parts of a flower. Questions, comments, concerns, write them down. Be prepared to talk about it. Have a good one.